Today is primary election day in New York City, and voters are making history when they fill out their ballots. The top contest is the Democratic Party's race for mayor. The winner will become the overwhelming favorite to be elected in November. This primary will also be a big test for a system called ranked choice voting. Voters are asked to pick their top 5 choices instead of choosing just one candidate. Ed O'Keefe is covering the primary for us. Ed, good morning.
Good to see you in person, Mr. Mason.
It's great to see you.
Good morning, everyone. Ranked choice has been used in other cities, but if all goes well here in this primary race in New York today, it could lead other cities and states to adopt the method. Ranked choice kicks in if one candidate doesn't get at least 50% of the vote. And with 13 Democratic candidates on the primary ballot today, that's likely to happen.
Stay focused. Don't get distracted. Grind and vote.
This year in New York, Big Apple voters are making big choices in the race to succeed Mayor Bill de Blasio.
Are you guys ready to get out the vote?
I am all about getting people out to vote.
Top issues of concern include rebuilding from the pandemic and affordable housing, but especially crime and policing.
Where people don't feel safe on our streets and on our subways.
Murders in New York are up nearly 14% year over year. Shootings up 64%.
Yes, I do.
It's caused a rift between candidates like Brooklyn Borough President and former police captain Eric Adams, who supports more traditional policing tactics.
This is more than just an increased number in police officers, but really how we're deploying them.
Whole city?
Our city!
And civil rights attorney Maya Wiley, who's a leading liberal in the race and wants to redistribute $1 billion out of the NYPD's budget.
I call it being smart and growing public safety and right-sizing the police department.
This year, for the first time, New Yorkers are ranking their choices for mayor. Ranked choice voting has been used for years in San Francisco and Minneapolis and across the state of Maine. But let's face it, New York is New York. And with apologies to Frank Sinatra, if it can make it there, the hope is it would make it anywhere.
If ranked choice voting can make it in New York City, I think it will make it anywhere.
Rob Ritchie is CEO of Fair Vote, a nonpartisan group that pushes for election reforms like ranked choice voting.
Right now, the current system really isn't a level playing field, so conventional wisdom kind of runs the day, right? Ranked choice voting allows voters to sort out the candidates and give them a fair shot, and you can vote for your favorite without worrying whether that candidate passes the viability test.
Here's how it works. Voters can rank up to 5 candidates. If one receives more than 50% of first choice votes, they're the winner. If not, the candidate with the fewest votes is eliminated, and those votes go to the politician people ranked next on the ballot, a process that repeats until it's down to 2 candidates and one has the most votes. The change in voting has led to a change in strategy. 2 top contenders, former presidential candidate Andrew Yang and former sanitation commissioner Catherine Garcia, have teamed up on the trail.
And if you do support me, please also support Catherine Garcia on your ballot.
Garcia doesn't explicitly endorse Yang, but says it's about promoting the new voting method.
Very clear. I'm not co-endorsing. We are campaigning together. We are promoting ranked choice voting.
Some voters say the new system compelled them to pay closer attention.
I didn't want to just choose anyone to fill those spaces, but I really did the research and wanted to make sure I was making an educated decision.
And while many like it,
for me, it was a piece of cake, man.
Others say, forget about it.
I don't know. I think it's confusing.
All right, New Yorkers, pack your patience because it could be weeks until we know a winner due to the state's absentee ballot rules. The campaigns we spoke to say there's so much uncertainty about who might win because of the crowded field and this new way of voting. This is going to be a really interesting
questions, not just who you put on your ballot, but who you leave off.
Right.
That's part of the campaign, too.
And there are those charges that, people argue it might disenfranchise certain
That's become
demos.
a really hot-button debate just in the last few days of, is this potentially causing, especially candidates of color, potentially to suffer? The others turn around and say no, because now everyone, in essence, if you put your top 5 down, it's very likely that one of your 5 potentially is the winner.
But everybody has to vote for everybody.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's one thing they let
that's
know.
the key.
You got to fill out all 5 slots, because otherwise...
Remember that runoff election we were waiting for in Georgia? It took several weeks. The proponents of this system say, this is your runoff.
Yeah.
And so we can get this done in several days or weeks instead of months.
That's the idea.
Save some
All
money.
right, Ed, thanks so much.